other night on this Tuesday night in Atlanta, and we welcome you to SunTrust Park. The Reds and the Braves, round 2 of 3 here tonight. Hi again, everybody, alongside Chris Welsh and Jeff Pecoro. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball. You made the comment in the very first inning in Matt Harvey's last start against the Chicago Cubs that you sensed he looked a little bit different, meaning a little bit better than we've seen him in prior starts.
Well, I got the help of the radar gun on that because he was throwing the ball 97 miles an hour a few times in that last start, which is far harder than he's thrown at any time with the Reds, and really harder than he had thrown in about a year. So he threw 5 pitches at 97 and up. And normally that doesn't mean a lot for a pitcher, but for Harvey it does. He's a guy that at one time when he was dominant, he was up around 100 miles an hour. So when you have arm speed, it also translates to a very good slider.
The starter tonight for Atlanta was like a lot of players. Didn't have a job as late as the middle of March. They brought in Anibal Sanchez, and this guy's been around for nearly 12 years. He's had a good, solid major league career.
He's had 93 wins in the major leagues, 95 losses. He got a chance to have 100 in each category before it's said and done. He's 34 years old. Yes, he has been around a little bit, but he's finally beginning to learn how to pitch. And he's been stubborn the last few years, but now he's changing speeds, a little slider here, pitching to both sides of the plate. It's not overpowering, but it's very, very effective.
So Sanchez v. Harvey here tonight. Reds trying to even this series at a game apiece after ending their 7-game win streak in the series opener last night. How about Scott Shedler? Great Scott! The way he's filling in at that leadoff spot.
To you by Chevy. Check out your award-winning lineup at your local Tri-State Chevy dealers. By Skyline Chili. Feeling good, it's Skyline time. And by Buick. Get a $5,500 purchase allowance on most Buick Envision models. Well, the Reds' leadoff hitter has been the engine that has made this team go throughout this season, and that person of late has been Scott Shedler. He relishes the role in the leadoff. How about these numbers that him in the leadoff role? 13 games, 344, 8 doubles, 3 homers, 10 RBI, and 14 runs scored. Last night, he's on base 3 times. He got things started with that home run, a double. He scored twice. And again, Tommy, as we throw it back up to you and Chris, he's in the leadoff spot tonight, batting .284 on the season, guys.
Yes, he is, and he made an impact in the game here last night. Vic, thank you so much. Schebler had 3 times on base, a double and a solo home run. Let's take a look at the rest of the Reds starting lineup under manager Jim Riggleman, 29-31 since he took over on April the 19th. Barnhart to follow Schebler, then Votto. Jeanette in the cleanup spot, Suarez down at third. Winker in right tonight. Duvall in left. Peraza the shortstop. Matt Harvey on the mound. Anibal Sanchez was not signed till about midway through spring training, well after the games had started. They brought him up from the minor leagues. This will be his 8th start.
And he's throwing the ball about as well as anybody in this rotation right now. He's not pitched against the Reds since 2015. You may remember that one. It was one of the better games he threw. It was a 2-hit shutout when he was pitching for the Detroit Tigers.
So we are set to go. Schebler digging in, and Sanchez working from the far first base side edge of the rubber. Swing and a miss, and this one underway. Tom Woodring calling the balls and strikes. Carlos Torres, the umpire at first. Kerwin Danley, the crew chief, at second, and Paul Nowert is down at third. There you see that game going back to 2015 with the Tigers. Schebler drives one into deep left center field, and over to get it, looking into the bright sunshine, is Charlie Culberson. And that's out number 1 to begin the game.
Kind of interesting, Tom. First trip for me into SunTrust Park to see this ball club, or ballpark and ball club, but very much like Great American Ballpark, in as much as it seems like left field is a Sun field. The way they have situated this park on the piece of land in which they built it. So the left fielder looks into the sun. Normally it's the right fielder that looks into the sun.
Which means that this ballpark is slightly tilted, not directly as Great American Ballpark is, to the southeast, facing the southeast. This one is slightly in that direction, but just slightly altered.
Which also means that a left-handed pitcher in this ballpark is not really a southpaw.
Well, we better hang out and contemplate that for a while.
Now that might be an upcoming tech talk.
It's like the line you dropped on us last night. He's thinking about what if rather than what. Deep thinking by Chris Wells. That should be like a television show. You know, maybe it's on at like 2 in the morning or something like that.
Well, I hope it didn't keep you up.
It did.
Thinking about that.
It did. 2-1 on Tucker Barnhart, now 2-2.
Well, you can tell already what Sanchez is all about. He changes speeds. He pitches at both sides of the plate. He's got a little breaking ball. He's not overpowering. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now, the earned run average here at this ballpark is extremely good. It's good overall. I mean, when you combine these two together, he's one of the better pitchers in the league numbers-wise. But at this ballpark, I mean, he just doesn't give up very many hits at all. Very tough on left-handers because he has a little changeup that he just kind of feathers away on the outer part of the plate.
Tonight is 270th major league start. He's pitched in 23 games total in his career out of the bullpen. In his 13th major league campaign, played the first nearly 7 years with the Marlins, breaking in 2006. Spent the last 5.5 years with Detroit. Actually led the American League 1 year in earned run average in 2013. He's had some good years and some good games. Barnhart gone swinging, 2 down. Let's take a look at Atlanta defensively, presented by Ford. Only change in the outfield is Culberson rather than Santana. Same infield we saw last night, including the hero for the Braves, Albies, clubbing the home run on the first pitch thrown by Dylan Floro in the 11th inning. And a change behind the plate, Tyler Flowers rather than Kurt Suzuki. Joey Votto with 2 down and nobody on. Votto was on base 4 times here last night. Drove in a run, walked 3 times, had a hit, scored a run. Flip side of all that, Votto committing a critical error in that 7th inning, which led to the game-tying unearned run that was charged to Crockett. Reds had just taken the lead if you weren't with us late, and it was late. Reds took the lead for the first time in the top of the 7th inning, and with 1 out and nobody on, Freeman hit a ball that Votto erred. 2 outs later, a walk, and then a run-scoring double by Santana tied the game. 1 and 2 on Votto. And that is a fair ball, and that is a 1-2-3 start for Anibal Sanchez. Matt Harvey set to take the mound here in Atlanta when we come back. "13 games over 500 and a 3.5 game advantage over second place Philadelphia." His starting lineup: Inciarte and Albies at the top, Freeman in the 3-hole, Markakis in right, Flowers catching, Culberson in left, Camargo, Swanson, Sanchez the latter third. Matt Harvey set to make his 9th start since coming over from the New York Mets to the Cincinnati Reds at the beginning of May.
And he had about as strong a start as he has had in a Reds uniform his last time out. Threw the ball extremely well, very firm with the fastball, good slider. Maybe ran out of gas a little bit towards the end, but the challenge for him tonight is the fact that he's never really pitched all that great against the Atlanta Braves. He's 3-7, earned run average north of 5.
Including 2 poor outings against him this year as a starter. Going back to the middle of April, he went 6 innings in this ballpark, allowed 6 earned runs, and then his final outing as a Met was out of the bullpen, and it was against Atlanta in New York City Field. 2 innings, 3 hits, 5 earned runs, but a good start here. Slow roller, and the glove flip in time to get Inciarte by Scooter Gennett.
The loft speed pitch right there. Inciarte just works right over the top of it, and the Cesta move by Scooter Gennett. He's from down there in Florida. He's probably been to I don't know if he was around there young enough and he was old enough to get into the Tampa High Life fronton, but that's the kind of move you'd see there.
Ozzie Albies drove the first pitch of his 11th inning at bat over the wall in right field, his first career game-ending home run here last night. It was the 7th walk-off win of the year for the Braves, which is tied with St. Louis for most in the major leagues. Time to go home run right now, he said before he walked to the plate.
Kind of amazing, really, because he got a pitch that you wouldn't think would be a home run pitch. It was down around the ankles almost. Look at this pitch, and kind of floated down to the inner part of the plate, but certainly looked to me down below the strike zone. Nothing for Dylan Flora to hang his head about. It just got beat by a guy who's awfully hot right now.
Albies in the game wound up with 3 base hits. He now has a hit in 7 in a row, 15 for his last 33. He has 3 or more hits in 3 consecutive games. And that ball laced into left center, but there to run it down is Duvall. The first 2 set down by Harvey. The Reds on defense look this way, presented by Ford. Shevler over to center. Billy Hamilton off tonight. Regular group in the infield, and again Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. More than likely see Kurt Casale back there tomorrow. It's an early start. You don't see many games that get underway right at noon, and that's when we get started with Reds Live. Actually a morning start, 11:30 a.m. We invite you to join us.
See the brunch crowd in there tomorrow at the Fox Sports Ohio studios.
Yeah, I think they cater everything in for those guys, right?
Probably.
When Jeff Piccoro and Brian Giesenslaw are normally back there, but it's big league operation. What do they serve at Wimbledon? I'm trying to remember what they talk about all the time. What is it? Crumpets?
Crumpets and tea?
Yeah, and then they have strawberries and cream. It's very, very nice. Very nice. That's what Jeff Piccoro is used to. And now he comes here with us to Atlanta, and you have to start hunting around in the stands for somewhere to eat.
Well, they've got great concessions here at this ballpark. And I would imagine that between Jim Day and Jeff Piccoro, they probably tasted half of them and get the other half in next year.
Tell you what they do have here. And you can only speak to one of these places if you've ever, been on the open road. And I've been on the open road a lot in my life. Getting in cars and driving coast to coast or all the way down south. You always have to make sure you stop in at a Waffle House. You ever had a waffle steak?
No. You have to tell me about it sometime.
Pull in. Get on the road. Live a little. Waffle steak.
The airwaves, first to get on in the 10th inning. The best hitter in the league up to bat, Scooter Gennett, sacrifices to second and third. Then they walk Suarez to load the bases. Winker comes up and pops out meekly to second base. The Reds lose a golden opportunity in the 10th inning. Jim Riggleman told us today, Tom and Chris, that he stayed up all night thinking about that, but he's an old school coach, and he said if I had to do it again, I'd do it again.
All right, you're right. That was, a lot of folks were talking about it after the game. I just love the fact that Jim Riggleman just lays it out there. Said, hey, look, doesn't make him right, doesn't make him wrong. I mean, if Winker hits a fly ball and drives in a run and the Reds take the lead, nobody's talking about it today. But that didn't happen, and the Reds lost the game. But at least he's able to come to the ballpark and say, you know what, I really wrestled with that thing all night long.
Well, that's part of the beauty about the game of baseball itself, because whether you believe one way or the other that you should have bunted or you shouldn't have bunted, I mean, you don't know if you're right or wrong because the circumstances could have changed no matter what. And it's just fun to have those kind of discussions.
0-2 the count on Scooter. Of course, he was the guy that put down that bunt, swinging a foul ball out of play.
Kind of interesting, really, because one of the things that Jim Riggleman said that he was swayed by was that when the first two guys reached, Scooter went to him on the way up and said, if they both get on here, do you want me to bunt? And that kind of cemented it for Riggleman. He said, yeah. And they knew that they were going to walk Suarez and then have to pitch with, come to Jesse Winker. And he went to Winker and said, this is going to fall on you. Winker smiled and said, I'm ready for it.
So it makes you wonder if Scooter would have walked up to him and just said, hypothetically, hey, if these two guys get in, I'm driving them in. Does that make any difference for Jim Riggleman?
You wonder.
Sanchez wanting that call in the outside corner, didn't get it. Sanchez needing just 13 pitches to get through a 1-2-3 opening inning. And he has struck out Jeanette. 2 strikeouts early on for Sanchez. This guy knows how to pitch, man.
Well, the beauty of this pitch is that it comes out of his hand and it looks like it could be a strike because it's over the cylinder of the plate, even though it's very low. And Jeanette's thinking he's going to pitch him down there anyway. He gives him what he's looking for, but even a little bit lower.
This could turn out to be a very, very interesting sign for the Braves. I mean, Sanchez, there's still guys looking for a job that were not offered contracts as free agents during this offseason. Some guys had to accept far less than they were led to believe might be out there for him on the open market. But this is clearly a veteran guy who's been through the wars. We talked about all the starts. He's pitched on good teams. He's pitched on really bad teams. Pitched for that Tiger team that went to the World Series. That fastball taken high.
I mean, just last year he was making $16.8 million a year, and he made that amount of money the previous 2 and then 15 plus the year before. And all of a sudden now, he's dropped off basically, almost down to the, I can't say major league minimum, but about a third of what he made last year because there weren't just the jobs out there. And you can see why the Tigers didn't want him. I mean, look at this earned run average here that he's got in 2017.
Broken bat, one hopper down to Camargo, and the Eugenio Suarez thrown out. And here comes Jesse Winker. Now, I'm not a Twitter guy. I know you are, Chris, but you were telling me earlier that I guess out in the Twitter world that Jim Day nickname is kind of caught fire.
Well, the wink is what you're referring to.
Right. And we talked about that last night.
Whether it was really Jim Day or was the former beat writer for the Reds, Zach Buchanan.
Okay.
Who may have said that, and Jim just kind of picked up on it.
Well, the first time I heard it, though, was from Jim Day. So if I'm not giving Zach the appropriate credit, so be it. And Winker shoots one into left center field, a 2-out single. First base runner for either team tonight.
Nice smooth swing right here by Winker.
So that'll bring up Adam Duvall. He did not start the game here last night. That's on the outside corner for strike one. Adam at 203, 12 home runs, does have 43 runs batted in. So while the batting average, just recently is catapulted over the 200 mark, he has driven in a lot of runs. 8 hits in his last 22 at-bats. That's better than a 360 average for Adam. And going back even further than that, his last 18 games, he's been a 294 batter. So things are getting better for Adam Duvall.
And that's part of getting better right there is what he did, which is not swinging a pitcher's pitch. I mean, that was designed to be a little teaser, just a little bit off the plate, not a swing and miss pitch, but a miss pitch on the sweet part of the bat. And that was the kind of pitch that Duvall was chasing a lot earlier in the year.
Swing and a miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a veteran pitch. 3-1 changeup. He uses a splitter. Sanchez does for his off-speed pitch, but looked just like a fastball coming in there and did what was expected.
So now the runner over at first. Winker will get started. 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. And Sanchez to the plate, struck him out. Sanchez with 3 of those through the first 2 innings. Albies and Markakis tied for the National League lead in doubles, each with 25. First pair of National League teammates with 25 or more prior to the break, and we're a long way from the break. Going back to Matt Carpenter and Yadier Molina in 2013 for the Redbirds. And with that in mind, it will be Markakis to lead things off. He picked up his 100th hit of this season last night. Leads the National League in that category. But he'll be retired his first time up tonight. Harvey 4 up, 4 down to start it. We did not see Tyler Flowers in the game here last night, playing in his 32nd game of this season. Just brought back from a disabled list after an early season injury, missed 23 games with that dreaded left oblique strain. That's an injury that caused Anthony DeSclafani to miss all that time this year, as well as part of last year.
It's one of those injuries that you really can't do anything about except rest. Every time you sneeze, turn, maybe even cough, you almost re-injure it back to square one. Boy, nice easy delivery tonight for Harvey. He may not be throwing with as much velocity as he did his last time, but his delivery looks good. As long as he keeps those hips going towards home plate rather than kind of pushing out towards first base, you stay behind the ball a lot better. You get more finish on your fastball. You get way more finish on your breaking ball.
One and two on Flowers. Fastball in the air to right. 2 down. Well, Reds fans at 4 for 48 weekends. They're back and going strong. Brewers will come to town, and you can save thanks to Budweiser Freedom Reserve and Folds of Honor. So if you buy 4 view level tickets, you get 4 Reds hats. You get all that for a total of $48. Log on to Reds.com/4 for 48. A lot of Reds fans again in attendance here tonight, sprinkled in all over the ballpark. Charlie Culberson, a .265 batter, 4 home runs and 18 batted in. This guy is red hot, playing very well right now. Got off to a terrible start and only had 2 hits in his first 25 at bats. Since the beginning of May, he's better than a .300 hitter tonight, his 29th start. Three and 0. A 2-out 4-pitch walk to Culberson will keep the inning alive for Johan Camargo.
Sounds like you've been saying that a lot recently, and I don't know what it seems like it's contagious. It's just not only 1 or 2 pitchers doing it. It seems like the other team is doing it. And we've said it before, it's hard to justify, but there is a mental letdown after you get 2 strikes or 2 outs in the inning.
Camargo had a big hit last night. That was that 2-out double down the right field line that tied the game in the 7th inning. It was his only hit. He also drew a walk. See that right there. Big news today just came out. Every year when U.S. News and World Report does their listings of different things, whether it's in education, whether it's hospitals, doctors, whatever the case may be, the news broke today. Cincinnati Children's Hospital, the number 2 ranked children's hospital in America. They've been bouncing from 2nd to 3rd over the last 20 years. Right there along with Boston, considered to be the top 2 children's hospitals in the United States. Some might tell you the world. So congratulations to the CEO over there, Michael Fisher, and all the incredible staff that they have at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. We are so blessed to have that incredible facility right in our town. Of course, the 2 largest vaccines that have been discovered in the medical world for children over the last 50 years, polio and then the pulmonary vaccine, which every child gets, both have been discovered at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. How about that? And we're proud to call them a sponsor of Reds baseball right here on Fox Sports Ohio. One and 2 on Camargo. Runner going. Pitch taken. Throw down to second. And not going to be in time. Okay, the Braves have guys up and down their lineup that will run a little bit. For Culberson, number 3.
Yeah, looking for a breaking pitch here on a 1-2 count, and the throw just drifts a little bit towards first base and allows Culberson to get in there before that swipe tag. That's the old pop-up slide right there by Culberson.
So a 2-2 on Camargo with the runner now in scoring position. First base runner for either team to get to second base. We're only in the 2nd inning. Struck him out. That'll retire the side. 2 strikeouts for Harvey. 1 walk, 1 left. We move to the 3rd in a scoreless game in Atlanta.
Park last night, top of the first inning, Scooter Gennett up. He rips the ball into the camera well where we're sitting, but on the Braves dugout side, and lo and behold, it finds you, Scott Cunningham, right in the head.
Right in the noggin, man. It was square, and it came so fast I didn't know what hit me, and it took a couple minutes to kick in. And by that time, I was on my feet, and I don't know how I didn't go down. I must have been a boxer at one point.
Well, 23 stitches later and a tough night of sleep, you're right back here at the ballpark.
Yeah. You got to try to keep our company with the competition. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, Tommy, I know that you and Chris and I, all of us here at the ballpark, were very concerned, and so was Scooter Gennett. And you got to meet him and talk to him before the game, didn't you?
I did. It was a pleasure to talk to him. And a friend of mine in Virginia was watching the game on TV, and he sent me a text right away and said that you know how long I had been doing this, and it was amazing how quick the words got around on that deal. I was really surprised. But
well, we're happy that you're okay, and we're very happy that you're back too, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I really like your young team. I hope Scooter. I got to like that kid. Really did.
Good luck from all of us. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Scott Cunningham, thank you for your time tonight. And Jeff, great stuff. I know there were a lot of people still wondering, what the final verdict was for Scott. That is an ugly wound, but thankfully here he is back tonight. And good stuff by Scooter. Not surprised by that at all.
I mean, back at work the next day.
It's a big
I guess photographers don't have the DL like baseball players do.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And there he is, back in his usual spot. To the camera well just beyond the Braves. Actually, tonight he's on the red side. I beg your pardon. He came over just in the top of this third inning. Switch sides. Good to have him here. Thank God he's all right. Gamer. Harvey trying to put down a bunt, something he has executed one time this year successfully. After a leadoff single from Jose Peraza. Harvey 2 hits in 22 at-bats.
One of the subtle reasons why it's a nice spot for Jose Peraza to be in the number 8 spot is that he's got some speed. So if you do lead off with a base hit or get on base and you want the pitcher to bunt him over, he's got a lot better chance of getting to second base than, say, a catcher running from first to second. Gonna let him swing away right here.
1 out.
And the other part of that is if it doesn't work that you get him over, then maybe you can get him to steal a base. He's been very successful here so far. When he decides to steal, he usually makes it.
Sure does. 13 steals in 15 attempts. It's very, very fast. Warm down there tonight. Game time temperature right around 88 degrees. Humid. But not the brutal humid that they will have here for the overwhelming majority of the summer. I ran outside today right around 12:30. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. Swing and a foul ball back by Schebler. Well, I tell you what, I went through a neighborhood today. Oh, mercy. Big league. You ever played some golf course over in a neighborhood called Brookhaven?
Yes, I have.
Boy. Big league.
Capital City Club over there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, of course you would know that. Of course.
Had a hole-in-one on that golf course for you.
Did you really?
I did indeed.
No kidding.
With witnesses, including your dad.
Really? Well, it's a beautiful area over there.
I don't know about that, but the green broke hard to the right.
Now, is that your only one?
No.
How many?
2.
Nice. Very nice.
Not including putt-putt.
Oh, I thought that's what you meant, because they do have a little putt-putt course over there. Oh, and 1 to Schebler. There goes a runner. Got a huge jump. No chance to throw him out. Schebler number count of 0-1 and now 0-2, and that's number 14 for Jose Peraza.
Kind of the point I was talking about. You know, you give the pitcher a chance maybe to get a base hit there on a 1-1 count, because all is not lost. If that's Tucker Barnhart batting in the number 8 spot at first base, you're never going to see him steal second. So now you've got a runner in scoring position. The lineup's turned over. Your better hitters are coming up.
All right, Schebler behind an account. He flied out to left his first time up. 0-2 here with 1 out and a runner in scoring position for the first time tonight for the Reds. Gone swinging on the off-speed pitch. 4 strikeouts now for Anibal Sanchez.
Well, if you go to the plate looking for fastball, it may be a tough night for you, because he's not, it looks like to me anyway, not all that inclined to give you a heater if you're up there hunting that fastball. He's had a lot of splitters. He throws a cutter. He's got a couple of strikeouts on the cutter so far. He's had a strikeout of Scooter Gennett on a changeup. And got Barnhart last time on a 3-2 cutter. See how he goes about him this time.
So now it's up to Tucker Barnhart if the Reds are going to get on the board first here. Sanchez struck out Barnhart in the first inning. High fly ball, short right field. Easy out there for Markakis, and the Reds are gone in the third. A hit, a man left. Still no score. Among all National League clubs, Reds #1. This offense has really kicked into gear. The interesting thing about that list is the Reds, because of their slow start, are the only team that is under 500. The streaking Giants don't look now, but all of a sudden that team is a game over 500. Got Madison Bumgarner back.
Yep.
Got some of the players back too that were injured when we were out there in San Francisco earlier this year. Joe Panik, among others. Dansby Swanson against Matt Harvey. Strike one, no score. We begin the bottom of the third. Swanson at 241. Hitting 132 over the last 2 weeks, and he's batting 197 over the last 2 months. 197 for this
really
former
wonder,
#1 pick overall out of Vanderbilt.
Just goes to show you, you're not in college anymore here, Dansby. But you wonder, Tom, if the Braves were not in first place. I mean, they've won 45 games. They've only lost 32. They have a 3.5 game cushion on the Phillies. If they were struggling, in second place or looking up at a couple of other teams, would they be taking a little bit more drastic action with Swanson? But as we say that here, he breaks the inning open with a base hit.
So now they will ask Sanchez, who comes back to the National League this year after being over in the American League for a number of years, to, you figure, put down a bunt. He has one of them.
Well, he did come up with Miami originally.
Yes.
Even though he was originally signed by the Boston Red Sox.
Tucker going to play to second. They get the out and they turn it over. Beautifully done by Tucker and Peraza.
Boy, for you at home thinking about learning how to sacrifice bunt, one of the most important things is, once you figure out how to get the ball down, is to get it far enough away from the catcher, because the catcher's got his momentum going to second base. He's got a strong arm already, or he wouldn't be playing there. And he's willing to take that chance. So even if the Reds didn't get that runner at second, the flip to first base still gets the back runner.
So the base is wiped clean after the leadoff single from Swanson, and here's a leadoff man, Enciarte. He bounced out to Jeanette his first time up. Brought up last night that trade that was made, bringing Enciarte over to the Braves from Arizona. Shelby Miller got off to just a terrible start his first year with the team. I mean, just getting knocked all over the ballpark. Wound up having Tommy John surgery, and Shelby Miller, for the first time since early last year, was activated last night. Got the loss for the Diamondbacks. Miller lasted just 3 2/3 innings in his return. He gave up 6 hits and 5 earned runs. Threw 85 pitches in the game, but I'm sure they're looking forward to better days from Shelby Miller. Two and two on Enciarte. Straight up in the air. Schebler patrolling center field tonight. Good start for Harvey. He's allowed 1 hit, no runs through 3. No score for either team. league career and closing in on 100 career wins. I was there the night he threw the no-hitter in his 13th career start as a rookie for the Marlins against Arizona. Had another in 11 with the Tigers into the 9th inning against Washington. Talked about him pitching so well in that 2012 postseason. Struck out 17 batters in a game, flirted with another no-hitter. Has led the league in earned run average. It's pretty good.
You know, the night of that no-hitter that you were there for, Tom, probably very memorable because, you know, he pitched 9 innings that night and threw only 103 pitches, struck out 6, and walked 4. So the Diamondbacks were swinging early and often that night. And, you know, not only that, but that year in 2006, the Marlins used 21 different players who were rookies that year. And that night, the night that he shut out and no-hit the Diamondbacks, they had 6 rookies in their starting lineup.
And if I'm not mistaken, that team turned into a playoff team the following year in 07 with all those young players. That was Justin Upton and that whole crowd, right? Joey Votto to lead things off here in the 4th, then Scooter Gennett and Eugenio Suarez. No score in the game, and it's right down the middle. Fastball, 2-2. And here's a case where Votto is walking 10 to 15 feet out of the batter's box on a pitch he just took. Something the commissioner was trying to get across to the umpiring crews, and you rarely ever see it.
Well, it's like putting up a speed limit sign, but don't patrol the road, because the umpires have no juice except to clap their hands and say, let's go.
Now that time Votto never left the box. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So maybe he evened everything out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sanchez tonight, this guy is just on his game. Look at this breaking ball. That's his curveball. We've seen his cutter. He's got a slider as well. He throws a splitter. I mean, he's showing you what the art of pitching is.
Now Scooter Gennett. He struck out his first time up. Fastball just off the outside corner and low. Told you early start here tomorrow, and then the Reds come right back home to open a 2-series stand that will begin with the Brewers, first place Brewers, on Thursday night. Brewers are back in action tonight. They'll be hosting Kansas City. Brewers have a 2.5 game lead over the Cubs, who have lost 5 in a row. They got beat last night 2-1 out west by the Dodgers. Two and 1. Cleveland had its 7-game winning streak come to an end, as did the Reds last night. Cleveland losing in St. Louis, and they'll get started here in a few minutes back at Busch Stadium tonight. And there's a 1-out walk to Gennett, the first walk issued by Sanchez. This Friday, the Reds and the Brewers, you can save on that 4 for $48 ticket deal. And don't forget, after the game, we got the big post-game fireworks show presented by Yucatan Guacamole. You're a big guac guy.
Yeah.
For tickets, visit Reds.com. What's better than that? Little fireworks Friday night. chips and some guac.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
Where can we get that?
Well, I'm sure they'll bring it up to the booth for you. I won't be there Friday night, but I know that if you ask for it, you shall receive. Get Jesse Jackson on it.
Let me get your member number in case that's not comped.
No problem. Whatever you need. Be par for the course.
Yes, it would.
Nothing in one on Eugenio Suarez. He tapped out to third base his first time up. Scooter has only attempted one stolen base all year long, and Sanchez continues to keep an eye on him over there. There he goes. And not a chance. So clearly the Reds' game plan coming into this game tonight was whenever they get somebody on, Sanchez is so slow to the plate that Flowers has no chance.
Well, Flowers has less of a chance than Kirk Suzuki behind the plate that we saw last night. But it's really all about the pitcher. And Sanchez has been a guy that last year gave up 13. They threw out 6. The year before he gave up 22. In Detroit, they threw out 9. And that's not really even a running league.
This one will drive Markakis back to the track. Scooter Gennett will advance 90 feet onto third. There are 2 away in the inning. So let's see if Jesse Winker, who singled his first time up, can get the Reds on the board in this scoreless game. By Winker waiting. And it's an air strike. And diving play by Albies. And throws it nowhere near the bag. The runner's going to score. I'm sure that'll be ruled a base hit. It is for Winker, plating Gennett, and the Reds have a 1-0 lead.
A little small ball right here by a guy who's hit his fair share of home runs recently. Gets a ball that's going to get his second base hit of this ball game. And it's snagged by Albies. He makes a chance to try to get Winker at first base, but that's not going to happen. And the Reds, a walk, a stolen base, get him over to third base, and a score on an infield hit.
So really the running game here in this inning, a huge factor. And the Reds with a game plan coming in. Gennett just picking up his second steal and just his second attempt all year long. Easily stole second. Pops straight up into the air, and that one will drift out of play. Now, Winker has not attempted a single steal all year. Would they ask him to run? Well, one to Duvall, Winker not running, and this one in the air, and this time playable. But the Reds get a 1-out walk, a stolen base, a fly ball, and an infield hit, and lead 1-0.
At Reds.com. You can catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. And one of those Reds players that could be playing is that guy right there, Scooter Gennett, currently third in the voting at second base, but creeping up. He told me this afternoon he would be honored to be an All-Star.
When it comes to being a starter or just being a part of it, for me, it'd still be an honor. Most of the time, the fans do get it right. So, you know, it's nice though that I have gotten votes, and you know, it's something that I definitely you know, feel good about.
You know, Tommy, Chris, he's picked up over 75,000 votes this week, so he's creeping up. But boy, what a race it is at second base.
Well, here's the guy that's right in the middle of all that, and that's Ozzie Albies. Albies had the incredible month of April, I guess technically March and April, with the baseball season starting earlier this year. Set a franchise record for the most extra base hits by the end of April, 22 of them. And then really cooled off just until the last week. And now he is tearing it up again. He lined out hard to Duvall in left field his first time up. And there you see it. 20 of them. And that was in April. You tack on 2 in March. So he had 22 by the end of April. Only 10 all of May, and already 12, including 3 in the game here last night, 2 doubles and a game-winning home run in the month of June. 0-2 pitch from Matt Harvey. Oh, boy. Didn't want that. Neither did Albies.
Well, you hear some boo birds here at SunTrust Park, but certainly not intentional. That was a breaking ball. A slider that came right down in there and got him.
Left foot. Harvey has walked a batter, now hit a batter. He's only allowed 1 base hit. And now he faces Freddie Freeman with Albies at first to start this 4th inning. And that's ripped into right field, a base hit for Freeman, and Albies apparently is fine, making the turn easily into third.
Well, the first pitch fastball, maybe trying to sink it a little bit, thinking about a double play ball, but he leaves it up, and Freeman hammers it. And you're right about Albies. Boy, if his foot is hurting, he certainly isn't showing it. There's 3 guys we've seen in this inning, 2 together right there. Freeman and Votto, who love hitting that first pitch to the AB.
Pretty good names on that list right there, including that fella named Altuve. All right, no sooner did the Reds take the lead. Remember, their only lead in the game last night came when they snapped a 3-3 tie in the 7th. And the Braves tied the game in the bottom of the 7th. So here we are in the bottom of the 4th in Atlanta with the heart of the order up there. Runners at first and third, none out. Markakis bounced out to Gennett, leading off the Atlanta 2nd inning. Knocked down by Harvey, and they have Albies caught, tag, out. Boy, what a big-time play that is by Harvey. Just to knock the ball down, the wherewithal to find it, and he cuts down Albies on a good throw to Suarez.
Well, he kept his wits about him, and that's the important thing right here. I mean, the ball is one thing, putting your glove out there and snagging it is important, but he does the right thing, runs right back at the runner, and makes Albies commit. Albies thinking about scoring right here, obviously, but you got to wait for it to go past the pitcher. So Albies makes a base running blunder, and the Reds pick off the lead man from third.
Suarez standing there preventing Albies from even getting that hand to the bag.
Well, that's a good play. I wonder if maybe Matt Harvey learned that play while he was playing for the Midland Redskins. They'll drill fundamentals into you in that organization, I'll tell you.
Better believe it. This ball hammered into straightaway center field and will sail over the head of Shepard. Freeman will score the tying run on a double by Tyler Flowers. 1-1.
Well, the second pitch in as many at bats that Harvey is pretty much thrown right down Broadway here. And the Braves are a good hitting ball club. They like hitting early in the count.
Second and third, 1-1 game, 1 out. Culberson, the batter. He walked, stole a base, was stranded. His only plate appearance. Runners will stay put, and that's a big out right there for Harvey. 2 down. Now Camargo. Harvey struck him out in the second inning.
Well, we were talking about the Midland Redskins. You see right there in the gold uniform tops are the Midland Warriors, the 14U team that comes from Cincinnati. They came down here to the Perfect Game facility in Atlanta. Great place to play. The national championship is on the line, and they're here playing in it. Coached by Ben Duvall.
Good for them. Good luck, Matt.
We wish them a lot of luck.
Of course, that Redskins team plays in Connie Mack, and they have won multiple national championships.
Yeah, the Redskins are 18U. I think the Braves are 16
yes,
and under.
That is Babe Ruth.
And then the Warriors.
Fly ball, and Harvey does a nice job. Braves get 1. They were hoping for more. 1-1, we go to the 5th.
by sharing a photo or video with hashtag HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
1-1 game. Reds come to bat here in the top half of the 5th inning. Game 2 of a 3-round bout. Tomorrow at high noon, Reds Live gets underway at 11:30 a.m. Beautiful night here tonight in Atlanta. Big crowd again. Boy, they're pouring them through here. It's a Tuesday night. And there is no doubt it is 30,000+ in the stands. Had almost 28 last night. And they had to wait a while. Had an hour and a half delay because of the rain to get started and played 11 innings. Very late night. Jose Peraza led off the Reds' 3rd inning, singled, stole a base, and wound up being stranded at second. Each team with a run, each team with 3 hits, each team 3 left on base. In the air, deep left center field. Enciarte giving chase. He's not going to get it. And Peraza is going to make a hard turn. He's coming to third, and he's going to get in there easily as they miss a cutoff man. A 3-base hit for Jose Peraza, his first of the year, and that's the way we started in the Reds' 5th.
Now, Jose had a tough night last night, 0 for 4, but he's made up for it. He's got 2 hits already. Gets a little breaking ball, it looks like, and lines it hard. I mean, I think he surprised everybody out there. Enciarte is the reigning Gold Glove winner in center field, and he can't catch up to it. And Peraza coasting into a leadoff triple.
Told you Harvey just 2 of 22. Big swing there. And actually now 2 of 23 because they elected not to have him bunt his last time up, and he flied out to center field. Infield in. Good block there by Flowers.
You know, with the infield in like this, Harvey's got a big swing, and he doesn't practice a lot of hitting. We don't see these guys really working at it. You're almost as well off going up there with a butcher boy play, which means you're going up there faking the bunt, and as the pitch comes, then bring the bat back, because that way you only bring it back about halfway, and it gives you a chance to kind of make contact a little better. But that may not be deep enough.
It's not. One away.
I mean, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Because a lot of times the pitcher gets up there, and if you get into your real batting stance, that's when everything begins to go wrong. You're thinking about taking a big swing, but is he going to throw me a curveball, and how can I get the bat on the ball? These guys aren't accomplished at getting the bat head on the ball. But the good news is for the Reds, there's only 1 out, so another fly ball here, deeper than the last one. Might be able to score Peraza from third.
Well, you just made me think of something which we'll get into later. Now is not the time. With a runner at third and 1 out of a 1-1 game. Schebler, the batter, the infield stays in. And Schebler is fly to left, struck out swinging. Looks at a pitch off the inside corner for ball 1. And this will bring in the run into left center field. Schebler's going to dig hard for second base. Here comes a throw, and he's in there sliding safely with an RBI double. So Schebler, a big base hit, and the Reds have the lead for a second time tonight.
Boy, good aggressive base running for the Reds. I mean, these two guys right here, Schebler and Peraza, they're not being spectators out there. They're part of this ball game. When he rounds first base, his plays right in front of him, and he's going for it. He runs like a linebacker, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So you get the lead back. You have a runner in scoring position. And Tucker Barnhart comes up.
Tucker is struck out and fly to right. 2 hits in the inning, producing a run. Extra base hits. Triple by Peraza, double by Schebler. Strike 1 on Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker keeps looking for fastball but doesn't get it. Here the 3-2 cutter was a strike 3 for him. Then the last time up in the 3rd inning, he hit a fly ball to third base on that, I guess it's a curveball or an off-speed pitch. That was measured at 69 miles per hour.
This one at 83, and it's in the air to right. Schebler will tag up and go to third, 2 away in the inning.
You know, Anibal Sanchez tonight, I mean, he's basically cruised. He's given up a couple of runs, but he's cruising a lot easier than last night's starter, Fultonevich. And I think if you gave any general manager an opportunity for this year, who would you rather have in your starting rotation? Anibal Sanchez or Fultonevich? Well, I would say 9 out of 10 general managers will give me the guy that throws 99 miles an hour. Because when it all said and done, the stuff is going to get the hitters out more than the cunning. But the hitters only hit what they see. And I can't say that I'm all that much more impressed with the guy who started last night than the guy that started tonight.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're going to base it on that, there's no contest. Who I would rather have pitch a game for my team tomorrow, if it's Sanchez or Fultonevich. Now, over the long haul, you know, you look at age, you look at all those things, the stuff, as you mentioned, clearly.
I'm talking about right now.
Well, I'm with you right now.
Oh, it looks like he may have strained something right there. He's out there stretching his back, his hamstring, maybe his knee, putting a little pressure on his right knee.
Normally when you see something like that, it could be a calf, the way he's trying to stretch it out a little bit. There could be some cramping going on here. I would bet this is a calf thing. Yep, he's going up and down on the toes. This is either an injured calf or some kind of a cramp. It's hot. You know, let him have a warm-up pitch or two here. He's all right. Or is he? Maybe not. Looked like initially he was okay, and now he's out of the game. Wow. And of course, the pitcher who will replace him has as much time as he needs. Second time we've seen that here in the last few days.
Former Colorado manager Walt Weiss serving as the bench coach here for the Braves.
Makes you wonder if that might be a re-aggravation. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the way he's trying to stretch, but he had an injured hamstring early in the year that he injured during pregame warmups. That's all the way back in April. Wound up on the disabled list. And now Matt Whistler, who was just brought up from the minor leagues today, will come in to face Joey Votto. This will be our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Sanchez out here in the 5th. we made the comment, Chris, yesterday that I think the two biggest surprise teams, the three biggest surprise teams actually, would be Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. No one's surprised Arizona's playing well. I mean, they went to the playoffs last year. It's taken the Dodgers a little while to kind of get going. And Milwaukee had a good year last year, to be fair. But I'm not sure how many people had them in the mix to be a division leader closing in on the 1st of July. And certainly no one envisioned the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies being 1-2 in the National League East, playing in the same division as the behemoth Washington Nationals.
I would agree.
Matt Whistler, we told you, just brought him up from the minor leagues today. Made 3 starts for the Braves already this season. Let me ask you now. Of those 3 teams, okay, Atlanta, Philadelphia, the Brewers, which of those 3 do you think has the best chance to remain in the hunt, staying power, moving forward?
I would say the Brewers.
Why?
Well, the Brewers have an exceptional bullpen. They've got a very good offense. And they've got, I think, enough money and prospects in their minor league system that if they needed to add on, make a trade, and or go out and sign somebody, they could take on some salary. And they've always been a team over the last, 10 or 15 years, Tom, that when they're close, they go for it.
Yep.
I mean, they've made some big deals. Of course, they've turned over general managers since then, but I still think that is the kind of ball club that when they're close enough, they're all in. Although really this division is really perplexing. I think Washington was shut out for the 7th time earlier today, and I think they were only shut out 7 times all of last year. So that's an offense that we saw at the very beginning of the year thinking, well, they're going to score a lot of runs, right? They've been very inconsistent. Phillies have come out of nowhere, and the Braves have really come out of nowhere. So Brian Ohio's Matt Whistler will make his first pitch.
And he'll come in with a count of 0-1 on Joey Votto. Runner at third, 2 outs. Reds have broken a 1-1 tie. Reds have won in the 4th. Braves tied at the bottom of the inning, and now the Reds get a triple by Peraza and a double by Schebler. Schebler, the runner at third, to take this 1-run advantage for a second time. What a block there by Flowers. That was about 3 feet in front of home plate. If we hear anything about Sanchez, we'll certainly let you know. He goes 4 2/3 innings, allows 5 hits. Only walked 1 batter, and the only batter he walked scored. Votto drives one into deep right center field, but it'll be caught. 2 in the inning. 1 run, 2 hits. A runner left. Reds lead 2-1. By Cincinnati Children's, now ranked number 2 in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. And by your local Ford dealer, Ford. Go further. Tell you, once you get inside this ballpark, they did a spectacular job for the fans. I mean, the seating here is really, really good. It's the closest I've seen in any ballpark. Now, look, it's the newest ballpark. But for example, where the second deck overhangs the first deck, they really had that second deck very close to being right on top of the first deck.
So you're close to the field.
Yeah, and then the third deck, even those in the upper deck, the fourth deck, those are still good seats. That's where we're sitting up here basically, and those are pretty good. Did a nice job here. Perfect up here. Perfect. Two and one on Dansby Swanson facing Matt Harvey. Swanson a single to center field his first time up. And this time he pops it up. Winker for out number 1, and I think Whistler's going to bat. Yes, he is. They've had to use so much bullpen here of late. Tomorrow, an all-new Reds Weekly comes your way. Tucker Barnhart goes through what it takes to get his equipment ready for each start. Jared Hughes, very detail-oriented, has a handwritten journal. Reds Weekly presented by Miami Valley Gaming. Tomorrow at 6 on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. On the ground to Scooter Gennett. And Whistler thrown out. That's his first plate appearance of this season. No, it couldn't have been. He made starts early. They just don't have him in the stat sheet.
Go for 7.
Thank you. So Enciarte will bat with 2 down and nobody on. Harvey just an excellent pitch count here tonight. 52 of them. He's 1 out away from 5 full innings tonight. Strike 1. Right center field, Schebler will get there in time. Boy, he got a good jump on that ball, and he runs very well, as we talked about earlier. That's good play by Schebler. We played 5. Reds with a 2-1 lead.
road trip in the series against the Braves. Reds Live starts at 11:30 with the game to follow at noon. Fox Sports Ohio is your exclusive home of Reds baseball, or stream live on Fox Sports Go. Swing into summer. It's presented by Click It or Ticket. All right, Tom and Chris, some changes for the Reds down in their minor leagues. Former starting pitcher Brandon Finnegan, he has been taken out of the starting rotation, relegated to the bullpen. Now, they talked to him, and they thought it was best for him to try to get back to the big leagues via the bullpen. He has done it before, had very good success in Kansas City out of the pen. They just feel like they want him to build his arm strength back in the pen. We talked to Dick Williams today, and he says for the immediate future that Brandon Finnegan will be in the pen in Louisville.
Well, that's the way you may remember Pick. Thank you very much. When he went from pitching in the College World Series to later in the same year becoming the first player ever to then pitch in the World Series of professional baseball, he was working exclusively out of Kansas City's bullpen. After the trade was made to come to the Reds in the Johnny Cueto deal, he made it very clear to everybody that he wanted to be a starting pitcher. But his last outing was probably one of the worst professional outings he's ever had. He gave up 10 runs in a little more than 3 innings. And clearly a change is in order. So we'll see how it plays out.
I like where you put that, Tom, that a change is in order rather than being, demoted to the bullpen, because I think his goal and everybody's goal is get to the major leagues. And it's a little simpler by doing it out of the bullpen. You don't have to develop your third pitch. And from Finnegan's standpoint, that's that changeup that he throws a lot to right-handers that you need as a starter.
Ball tomahawked off the wall by Jeanette and then bobbled out there in right by Markakis, which easy allows Scooter to go to second base. Probably would have been there anyway. His first hit tonight.
He's been on a couple of times. He scored the first run of the ball game for the Reds and got a whole bunch of this one.
The issue with Finnegan, though, Chris, and you pointed it out many, many times, it's not only the development of a third pitch, it's just the ability to throw a fastball for a strike.
He's got a lot of work to do, I think, on his delivery, just smoothing it down a little bit so that you can repeat it. There's no question that he's got a good arm, great deception. That changeup of his is as good as anybody's in this organization. And he's got a nice slider. So the components are there.
Suarez will advance the runner on to third.
And we wish him a lot of luck in that transition. The other thing that by going to the bullpen allows you to do is you don't have to wait every 5 days or 6 days to pitch. That you could pitch 3 days in a row. You could pitch one day, you take a day off, you pitch the next day after that. So you're back out there more often, and what you work on before the game, you can take right to the game without having to wait a week to do it.
Braves will bring their infield in. Winker is 2 for 2. He has 2 base hits, including a run-scoring single when he had that infield hit in the 4th to play Jeanette. Ball 1. Both of those at-bats against Anibal Sanchez.
One of these at-bats right here that, you have one thing in mind. You get a pitch that you can drive somewhere. Early in the count, you're never swinging at a pitcher's pitch. He's going to want to make you chase something down in the dirt, maybe just off the plate. This is where the hitter can really believe he's in the driver's seat.
Now that would have figured to have been one of those pitches. Now it wasn't a fastball, and he probably was looking fastball, so he decides to take it. One ball and 2 strikes on Winker. It's a modified radar gun.
Yeah. I think you might be able to learn as much out of that one as you can a real one, because it forces you to watch the hitter and not just measure the speed of the pitch. And the hitter will tell you how hard you're throwing.
Ball gets away from Flowers, but Scooter's going to stay put with one out here in the inning.
And what I mean by that is that you could be throwing very hard, but it could be hitting speed.
Well, I mean, you say it best. It's as clear, as concise as it gets. The hitters will tell you how you're throwing, how hard, your location, your change of speeds, your command, all the above. And so far tonight, Matt Harvey's only given up 1 run on 3 base hits. He's been pretty good. Been really good. 2-2.
Now, Whistler really doesn't have a off-speed pitch that goes away from a left-hander. His main 2 pitches are fastball, slider. And that breaking pitch down and in is what he's trying to get Jesse Winker to chase. I don't know, was Blandino an engineering major there at Stanford?
You said Stanford.
Stanford, as in the Cardinal.
Gone swinging his Winker. You know, that's a good question. You know, when you do football games, they tell you if the guy, you know, gets his degree, they tell you exactly what it is the degree was in. Sometimes in baseball they do. And there's a real good chance Blandino graduated. Academic institution like Stanford. That's in Palo Alto, California. I think Jim Day did a story where he actually picked up his degree just this past offseason. Good for him. Yeah, good for him. Took me 20 years.
But you got it.
But I got it. I mean, you know, I felt, well, thank you. I felt bad. I was fortunate enough to have my parents be able to afford to send me to college, and my mom passed away a long time ago, and I just got to thinking to myself, geez, I'm only 2 classes short. And they were awesome at Ohio University and putting together a program to make that happen. They were great. 1-0 on Adam Duvall.
Well, speaking of degrees, Tom, I'd like to congratulate my second oldest daughter, Erin Welsh, who picked up her PhD this week.
Now you're talking big league stuff.
Indeed.
Can you pronounce it?
Yeah, environmental ecology.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Yeah, took a lot of work. She's been in school since I can remember.
1-1 pitch. And a liner into left field, a base hit by Duvall. And that's a big 2-out single to make it a 3-1 Cincinnati lead for Adam Duvall, who has 44 runs batted in, despite hitting under 200 for most of this year.
It's funny how one stat can look so bad and the other stat can look so good. He gets right out ahead of that little breaking ball from Matt Whistler, drives it in. So what Jesse Winker could not do, Duvall does, and the Reds have a 2-run lead.
Well, you know, to put that in perspective for a minute, a guy like Albies, right? He only has 2 more runs batted in than Duvall does. Markakis, who's right there among the league leaders in everything, he's knocked in 5 more runs than Duvall. Duvall's knocked in more runs than Joey Votto. And not too far behind Scooter Gennett. I mean, Duvall's going to be knocking on the door of being among the top 10 run producers in the National League if he has another good week.
Well, kind of like where it was last year.
Last 2 years. Straight away center field by Peraza. First time they'll retire him tonight, but a 2-out base hit delivered by Adam Duvall gives the Reds a 3-1 lead.
Reds. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
How about Mount Harvey so far here tonight, Chris Welsh?
Well, he's been dealing, to say the least, and right now he has a 3-1 lead. And you know, we're always interested in Harvey's velocity, but that is not what really makes a pitcher be successful. That slider has been very important. He gets it right on top of it, drives it down. He's got a few strikeouts, makes some nice defensive plays. He snags that line drive, saves the run, and then gets a lead runner off third base. So it's been a complete type of game so far for Harvey. He's only had 1 inning in this ball game. I mean, the pitch count at 54. Through 5 innings, he's only had 1 inning in this game where he's had more than 11 pitches. And that was the second inning when he had 15.
For obvious reasons, this is a very important inning for Harvey. He's going to be facing the best 3 hitters they have in their lineup. Albies, Freeman, Markakis. But, you know, you start looking further down. If he can get through this 6, now you're starting to get to the back end of the batting order. And he might be able to pitch with that pitch count deeper than any game he's pitched so far as a Red.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, Albies is a pretty tough challenge, even though he's only a 20-year-old kid. I mean, he's a little guy as far as height. He's 5 feet 8 inches tall. Well, you take a look at his forearms. I mean, he's been working out with Michael Lorenzen. And he's tough to get inside on. I mean, that's one thing you always try to do to young players. You pound the ball inside. You try to see if they can get that bat head through. He had 2 doubles last night in the home run, and all of those were on the inner third of the plate.
No on the appeal.
He's got one of those grips on his bat, Albies does, where the bottom of his hand, his pinky fingers kind of hanging off the knob.
Base hit into right field.
Getting around on the inside pitch.
Freeman, a base hit into right field his last time up. This was the part of the batting order where the Braves broke through.
And if you remember what they did, they were really ultra aggressive early in the count. I mean, they were up there hacking, coming right out of the on-deck circle. Freeman hit the first pitch. I think Markakis hit the first pitch.
And one after the first pitch here, strike 1. Harvey struck out Freeman his first time. Little wrinkle in that. And 0-2. Brewers now leading Kansas City. That game in the bottom of the 5th inning already at Miller Park. 3-0. Well, that game's flying along. They're in the 7th inning in Miami, Arizona. A 4-2 lead over the Marlins. Yankees beating up on Philadelphia for the 2nd straight night. You talk about a game flying along. They're in the 9th inning. It's 6-0 Yankees.
You know, you sound a little bit like your dad, and now I see the connection.
What's that?
Because I asked your dad,
genetics?
What's the best golf round you've ever had? And he'll say 2 hours and 45 minutes.
That's right. Very similar in that regard, for sure. He's dialed in tonight, though. I know he's back on the home front watching the ball game.
And I remember asking Joe Nuxall, what's the best round you ever had? He would say about 3 over. I said, really? He said, yeah, I found 3 more golf balls than I lost.
That was the old left-hander. That's for sure. That's the old left-hander.
Nice pick. Okay, this is where Freddie Freeman kind of resembles Joey Votto a little bit. You know, you get 2 strikes on him. A lot of guys are really in the driver's seat, but he just doesn't normally chase. Although the other night he chased a high fastball up and out of the zone.
That's when there was a runner at third and only 1 out. Just trying to drive something into the outfield. Found out a play. It's still 2-2. This will be the 7th pitch of this at bat. Harvey v. Freeman in a 3-1 Cincinnati lead. Bottom of the 6th inning. So very much Votto-like as it goes full. Let's see if they put the runner in motion. Freddie Benavides instructing the defense. Three, 2. Runner goes. Swinging a foul tip. I think I saw it. Maybe I didn't. I'm not sure. Didn't I see the whole Benavides clan here in town? They used to travel with us pretty regularly.
They did. Used to. I have not seen him yet this year, but
maybe I saw him on the home front. I can't remember. It had to have been at home because I haven't seen anybody here.
Well, he makes Texas his off-season home.
Yep. Three and 2 once more. You figure Albies is running again. He is. Straight up in the air. So the battle inside the war will be won here by Harvey against Freeman, and that's out number 1. 9-pitch at bat on a pop-up to Suarez. Now Markakis 0 for 2 has bounced to second and hit a line drive with runners at first and third and nobody out to the glove side of Harvey on the mound. He was able to stick his glove out, knock the ball down, and threw out the runner Albies trying to go back to third. He had drifted too far off the bag. That's one of the biggest plays in this game. Markakis hit the ball very hard in that at bat. Reds have action in their bullpen for the first time all night tonight. Michael Lorenzen begins to throw. Ball 1. Lorenzen pitched 2/3 of an inning here last night. He had to get bailed out by Crockett. He walked a batter and also allowed a base hit. No runs. Crockett got the final out. Runner goes. Liner double play's going to end the inning. How about that? That's living right. Big jump by Albies. And a line drive for the 2nd time by Markakis in this game with nothing to show for it. on a base hit by Jesse Winker that brought in Jeanette in the 4th inning. But in the bottom of the 4th, Flowers with a double over the head of Shevler would bring in Freeman. Stayed that way until the Reds came to bat the next half inning. Reds got a run on a double by Shevler to score Peraza, who started the inning with a 3-base hit. And then a big 2-out single by Duvall in the 6th after Jeanette started the inning with a double. 3-1. Harvey will bat here in the top of the 7th inning. If he gets an out in the 7th, it will be his longest outing this year. He had one game against Atlanta where he got knocked around pretty good, went 6 innings, gave up 6 runs. He's had 3 starts as a Red where he's gone exactly 6 innings.
You never really know going into the future what's going to happen. The Reds hope that Matt Harvey just continues to get better each and every time out. And 2 things can happen from there. Number one, I mean, he can be valuable to this ball club and they could try to sign him to a deal, or they could deal him at the deadline. And you never know. I mean, maybe the Atlanta Braves might be a team that could use Matt Harvey in their rotation.
Well, the way he's throwing the ball these last couple of starts, he could help somebody who's in the hunt. There's no debate about that.
And of course, if you help somebody who's in the hunt, and the better and the more effective you are as a pitcher, the more you will get in return, presumably, when you make a trade or if you make a trade.
Straight up by Shevler behind the plate, and room back there for Flowers, 2 away. Tucker Barnhart 0 for 3. Struck out and twice flied out to Markakis and right. Early turnaround tomorrow. Reds Live will get underway at 11:30 in the morning. And our game coverage begins at high noon with Jeff Pecoro. Mr. Welsh bringing you up to speed on everything going on. Luis Castillo against left-hander Sean Newcomb. Newcomb, a 3rd straight pitcher in this series that the Reds will face with an ERA that starts in the 2s. Milwaukee extends its lead 5-0 over Kansas City. Cubbies will be playing later tonight out west, trying to avoid what would be a 6th consecutive loss. And they must be in another delay in St. Louis. That's 2 nights in a row. Weather plowing through the middle of the country. And a base hit into left field, the first hit of the night for Tucker Barnhart. That'll keep the inning alive for Joey, who is 0 for 3. Votto has bounced to first, struck out, and lined out to right his last time up. And this ball drilled into left field, but right there is Culberson to end the inning. Middle of the 7th. Reds with a 2-run lead.
1969, President Ulysses S. Grant, who was born and raised in southwestern Ohio, welcomes the Red Stockings to the White House, becoming the first championship team to visit the White House. Now every sports champion goes to the White House to meet the president. But how cool would that be, Tom and Chris, to head to the White House and meet the President of the United States?
Well, you know, Pick, I had a chance to do that back with the Diamondbacks when they won it in 2001. George W. Bush was a president, and had that opportunity to do it, and it was absolutely awesome. Just incredible. You know, a Cincinnatian who's just been working for President Trump, Joe Hagan. He was working, you know, Joe Hagan, working in the Cincinnati, born and raised, was working in the White House at the time as well for George Bush, and we were able to really see some cool stuff. It was great. Tyler Flowers to lead off the inning. 1 pitch and 1 out for Matt Harvey.
Boy, you gotta like that if you're Matt Harvey in the 7th inning. You're right at 70 pitches. You know, this can happen when you pitch against the Braves. It can happen when you pitch against the Cubs or the Reds. Those 3 teams love to hit the first pitch.
So we were just talking about, this is his longest outing going back to the first month of last season. And obviously it was not a good year last year for Matt Harvey. Had multiple injuries that shut down his year. Got off to a very rough start this year with the New York Mets. Was relegated to the bullpen. He tried it, didn't like it, said I'm not going to do it anymore. He was designated for assignment. Was never exposed to the free agent market because the Reds swung the deal in exchange for Devin Mesoraco. And now here he is tonight, making his 9th start as a Red, and it is without question his best start as a Red. And his longest start as a Red.
Well, I talked to Danny Darwin a little bit before the game about Matt Harvey. He was very encouraged by the last couple of bullpen sessions that Harvey has had. They've identified just a couple of little checkpoints that have really helped Harvey stay on track, and for him, literally stay on track, which means get his hips to move right towards home plate rather than kind of swinging open and flying towards the first base dugout.
In the left center field, and that'll be a base hit for Culberson.
Hung that slider up there a little bit.
Here's Camargo. Now bear in mind, you know, as soon as the Braves get somebody on, as they do here with the single by Culberson, you're having the tying run now come to the plate. So Harvey's really got to bear down. He's been in complete command this entire game, but his offense has managed just 3 runs on 8 hits. Harvey's given up a run on 5 hits. Camargo is struck out swinging and flied out to Duvall and left. Camargo has 7 home runs. Lorenzen up for a second time, and now he's joined by the left-hander Amir Garrett. They went around. breaks through in the left field hit. So now all of a sudden, consecutive singles with one out, and Jim Riggleman is standing on the second step. There are 4 of them to get to the field level. Swanson is single to center and popped up to short right. You have the pitcher spot after him. I mean, this has been a come-from-behind team, really, and not only this year. You see the runs from the 7th inning or later, most in the league, but they have been a come-from-behind win team since Brian Snitker took over as manager of this team. 47 times, the most in the National League. Wins in their last at bat. Danny Santana, who started last night, has moved to the on-deck circle, but right now all eyes are focused on Harvey v. Swanson.
Well, if you're trying to bury one inside to Swanson right here, you got to make sure if you miss in off the plate. Going with the cut fastball there. I don't see the depth in his pitches now that I saw earlier in the ball game. A little bit of more side-to-side movement that you see on that slider. He's got to maintain that angle to be able to pull down the very top of the baseball.
Harvey has gone 94 or more pitches in each of his last 4 starts as he's continued to build up that arm strength. Dotting the corner there.
That's one of those situations where Tucker Barnhart will get credit for framing the pitch. Technically outside the strike zone, but called a strike. I like it.
One ball and 2 strikes on Swanson. We'll try it again. Ball hit hard, but right at Winker. Tagging and advancing on to third goes Culberson. 2 outs in the inning. Well, now Jim Riggleman has his foot on the front foot on the top step. Pat Kelly is bench coach, and here comes Jim Riggleman. They announce Santana. And I would assume that means we're going to see Amir Garrett. Doesn't mean Santana has to bat. 84 pitches in the game for Harvey.
Solid outing.
Well, when you consider his last start, he faced the Cubs. They've scored the 4th most runs in the National League. The Atlanta Braves have scored the most runs in the National League. And in Harvey's last 2 starts, he has given up a total of 3 runs spanning nearly 14 innings. Well done. One more out to go. We're back in a moment as Garrett hits a jump shot and now makes his way to the mound. Here in the Atlanta 7th, Matt Harvey, an excellent outing here tonight. His longest of this season, whether with the Mets or the Reds. And now trying to get the final out in the inning. What a year it has been for this guy. Amir Garrett.
Well, here's a guy that converted the bullpen, and it really opened up a lot of doors for him. He is now pitching in high leverage situations. And a big one right here with the tying run at first base. A pinch hitter in there, switch hitter Danny Santana. He does not have very many at-bats at all against lefties. In fact, only one this year.
First pitch fastball strike. You saw Hamilton comes into center, but they leave Winker in right. We might see a change there later. Oh, no, we won't, because obviously Chevrolet's been taken out of the game. Breaking ball down and in. Harvey only struck out 2 batters tonight. He walked one. He hit a batter. But boy, was he good. We'll see how it plays out for Harvey moving forward. 1 ball and 1 strike on Danny Santana. Beat him with a fastball in the inside corner. There are a lot of people that could be eating, and we'll see how it goes, a lot of crow when it comes to Matt Harvey. Said going to Great American Ballpark would be a nightmare for him. In 5 career starts, 4-0 with a 3.0 ERA.
Well, people who put that in print.
Yes. And we're adamant about it. We'll see. I mean, you look at his last start against the Cubs. That was at home. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. His problems have come on the road. He gave up 5 runs, 1 start against the Cardinals at home. And went 6 innings, allowed 1 run in a start at home against the Pirates. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's all for Santana. Amir Garrett. The beat goes on. All righty, Brian, Sam, good to hear your voices back there. We'll catch up with you in Reds Live, the post-game show.
New pitcher in for the Braves is a young man, 26-year-old Shane Carl.
One of 3 rookie relievers for Atlanta with at least 10 holds. No other team has more than 1. A lot of youth in that bullpen. Be facing Scooter Gennett to start things. Eugenio Suarez next, and then Jesse Winker. A 2.04 ERA is the 3rd lowest by a qualified rookie reliever in Atlanta franchise history through this juncture of a year. And for whatever reason, he has been more effective against left-handed batters than he has the right-handers. Neither one of them hitting him very well. But lefties only 206. And he started off Gennett 3-0. Green light for Scooter 3-0, and he's fouls it away. So Harvey 6 2/3 innings tonight. 6 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts and a walk. And of course, needs some help from the Reds bullpen if he's going to pick up his 3rd win as a Red. He would go to 3-3 since joining the Reds. Ball 4. Well, don't miss the sliding into that's coming up this Saturday, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Multiple packages. It includes your session of yoga on the field at Great American Ballpark. Get a game ticket. Reds will be taking on the Brewers July the 1st. Visit reds.com/yoga. A walk to begin the Cincinnati 8th inning. Here's Suarez. Suarez is grounded out twice and flied out to right. Scooter, 3rd time he's been on base tonight. 2 walks. A stolen base, has scored 2 times. And that stolen base was just his 2nd stolen base attempt all year long, and now they're going to keep an eye on it. There he goes. And that got a piece of the pitcher, I think.
On the heel.
Yeah, and pops right back up in the air. So Carl catches a break. And it's only natural the medical staff's going to come running out. That looked like it hit underneath of his shoe on the heel.
I'm wondering if maybe the Reds caught a break right there by that ball being stopped by Carl. It was headed right for the second base bag with Gennett on the run. That ball may have gotten right there a hair before the runner, and it could have been a double play ball. What do you think? The Braves might be the first team out there with an appearance clause by the trainer.
I mean, look, clearly something was wrong with Sanchez. We were speculating it was a calf injury, and it turns out that is what it is. It's his right calf. But I mean,
I guess there's no such thing anymore as just waving the guy off. They got to come out.
Yeah. Yep. Albies got hit with a pitch. Trainer had to come out and see him over at first base, and here's Winker with a runner at second. Breaking ball snaps in there, a strike.
Well, you've got Dr. Kremchek visiting you in the booth quite a bit.
I'm 54.
You're right there with him, on the verge of a breakdown.
Not even close. Getting stronger literally by the day.
Glad to hear it.
Thank God for it. Been a long road. 0-1 pitch. But again, I repeat. There's a base hit into center field. And this will bring in Jeanette. And Winker once more delivers the goods. What a game tonight for Winker. 3 hits, 2 runs batted in, and now a 3-run Cincinnati lead.
He's killing the launch angle argument tonight, Jesse Winker, is that all of his base hits have been down on the ground or 1 or 2 hoppers through the infield. That pitch right around the ankles, and he's able to get enough of the bat on it to drive it into center field for a base hit.
Oh, and 2 on Adam Duvall, who had a 2-out single to drive in a run in the 6th inning. You know, now clearly we haven't seen the Braves a lot this year. They're strike 3, but you know, you touched on it earlier when I asked you the question, threw you on the spot point blank about, you know, of the 3 surprise teams in a National League, which one did you think had the most staying power among the trio of these Braves, the Phillies, and the Brewers? And the first thing you talked about, you picked Milwaukee, and you said that bullpen. I mean, it's an incredible bullpen. And I think it's safe to say that it doesn't take long to watch these Braves to figure out that could be an Achilles heel for this team.
Well, it's also something that you can cure at the trade deadline. A lot easier than going out and finding a #1 starting pitcher.
Now, in fairness, you know, they had Freeman, or not Freeman, but their last 4 relievers last night combined 3 1/3 innings of shutout baseball. But the 2 relievers in front of that trio each allowed runs. And here tonight they've used 2 relievers, and each has given up a run. Whistler and now Carl.
Now the leadoff walk by Carl. The 80% rule comes around.
1-1 on Peraza's had a good night. Couple of hits, stolen base, runs scored. Two and two. 3-2 pitch. Runner gets started at first base. Struck him out, and that'll end the inning. Reds get a run after a leadoff walk. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Reds lead by 3. FS1. Mexico in action tomorrow, taking on Sweden. That'll be at 9 a.m. Eastern on Fox, or stream it all live on the Fox Sports app. Germany in action as well. All right, bottom of the 8th inning. Reds with a 4-1 lead. Top of the order coming up against Amir Garrett. Got the left-handed batting Ender Enciarte to lead things off. Switch hitter in Albies. That's off of Amir Garrett, and he's still down.
Well, we have seen a lot of line drives back through the middle here tonight. Some have been gloved, some have hit the pitchers, and boy, he is hurting.
Have to see where it got him.
Right below the knee on the left leg.
Well, I mean, he is sprawled out down there. You know, the question is, did he get him right on the bone, or, you know, if he just hit the you know, sort of the outside of your calf area, you know, that's one thing. But if it gets into that tibia, fibula sort of area, and apparently he's going to have to leave the game. Clearly in
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Toyota. For over 30 offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. So bottom of the 8th inning, Michael Lorenzen now on to pitch for the Reds. He can take as long as he wants to warm up after the injury to Amir Garrett, who was in a lot of pain when he left. And before the game today, I talked to Michael about how he readies himself to either pitch or hit. And how does he know when he's going to pitch or pinch hit in a game? He's one of just 17 pitchers in the history of baseball with 2 or more pinch hit home runs in 100 innings pitched. And the only one this year. So he said that he goes into Riggleman's office before every game and says, Skip, I can go today. And then he tells him, Mike, I don't want to use you today. You've pitched 3 of the last 4, 4 of the last 5, whatever. So I'd rather you get some swings in, go work with the hitting coaches, and get ready to pinch hit for me. I know there's been a lot of people that get on Twitter and ask us questions. Why don't they pitch hit Michael Lorenzen more? He's on this team as a pitcher, and that's where his most value is. But as you can see, he can also hit, and he loves to hit. And talked to him today. He says, look, I would like to pitch every game if I could. But the manager keeps a pitcher's chart in his office for all of his relief pitchers. And it tells him the days and basically who's available or who's really working on gas and who can go in there and pitch. And I know Chris Welsh knows a lot more about this, but he'll confer with each of these pitchers and tell them, hey, I'm giving you today off. So, make it a light day, ride the bike. But for Lorenzen, he says, man, I'd like to go every day, Chris.
Well, there are guys like that you literally have to take the ball out of their hand and you tell them, don't even put your cleats on today. You want to have guys who want to be in the ball game, but at the same time, you have to be realistic about being effective based on how many days in a row you've been pitching and so on. So Lorenzen's in the ball game, took some time to warm up, ready to go. Runner at first base, Reds up by 3.
Lorenzen is one of the first guys, and it's just, sort of piggybacking off what Jeff was just talking about. He will tell you that he firmly believes that pitchers are babied beyond belief in the minor leagues coming up.
Well, he wouldn't be the only one that would be on that side of the argument. I think most coaches that are coaching in the minor leagues will tell you the same thing.
Ball hit a long way into right center field. Billy, are you kidding? He didn't get it. Thought he had it. Thought he had it. And that is a double. This guy is a hitting machine right now, Albies. Man, can he hit.
Well, the out that he made was back in the first inning, and it was a hard hit line drive to left field. That time looked like Billy Hamilton was going to make another one of his miracle catches. I mean, look how far he goes to get to this ball and just off the end of the glove. Now maybe he didn't even touch it. Worried about that wall coming up on him. He was going full blast, but the runner at first base had to hold up, so no damage yet.
Oh, the Reds are going to concede. Not only the runner at third, I mean, if he hooks a ground ball to the right side, they'll take the out, and they'll concede again if they have to. They have a 3-run lead. They're just looking for outs. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Reds with a 3-run advantage. Nobody out. Freeman's been good, although he struck out the other night with the runner at third and 1 out. Told you Lorenzen had a hard time last night. He faced 4 batters, 2 of them got on, and then he was lifted from the game. In fact, the same thing happened his last time out. He was bailed out by Amir Garrett. All right, so here's what we're talking about. They'll take the out. The run scores, making it a 4-2 game, and on to third goes Albies, 1 away in the inning. Votto plays that ball off to the side like you just saw, and that was the way he played that ball last night. That wound up being a huge error in the game.
Well, it's fine as long as the ball doesn't take a bad hop. As soon as it takes a bad hop and your body's not there as a backup to your glove, you may get an error anyway, but it doesn't look nearly as bad when it bounces off your chest. All right, 2-run ball game.
Markakis a batter. 0 for 3 in the game. Strike one. So Garrett is charged with the run. 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Lysell ready down in that bullpen. You know, you had Hernandez last night who went an inning and a third. You had Jared Hughes who goes 2 full innings last night. So more than likely you don't see either one of them at this juncture of the game. This would normally be a spot for Jared Hughes when you have a 3-run lead in the 8th. Positioned perfectly is Peraza. The run scores to make it a 1-run game. 2 outs, bases empty. A couple of ground ball outs for Lorenzen after initially giving up the double to Albies. Flowers, 1 of 3, hit a ball a long way to straightaway center field back in the 4th inning for a run-scoring double. One more out to go here in the 8th. And then the game will belong to Iglesias if the Reds go to the 9th with the lead. Mm. 2-0.
Good 2-0 pitch right there. Not unusual really to see the strike zone sometimes shrink towards the end of a tight ball game.
You got to believe that's going to be it for Lorenzen. I would not be surprised to see Jim Riggleman come get him. It's 3 games in a row now for Lorenzen. I mean, his overall numbers look really, really good. But been bailed out a little bit here of late. And that's it for him. They're going to come get him. Peter Borges announces a pinch hitter. Or a pinch runner, I beg your pardon. He comes on to run for the catcher, Flowers. This will be a double switch. Would imagine we see Blandino somewhere in this mix. No, it'll be Brandon Dixon. Brandon Dixon will come into right field to play for Jesse Winker. All right, back with more in a minute. cheat sheet there about how to play these Atlanta hitters, putting it in his back pocket. He'll take over for Winker, which means Dixon will lead off. He'll bat in the number 9 spot. Doesn't really matter. The pitcher spot is going to be occupied by this guy to get the final 4 outs, no matter what. Raisel Iglesias gunning for his 14th save, but we're just in the 8th inning. Braves have scored twice. Once off Garrett, once off Lorenzen.
Boy, the look on Charlie Culberson's face when he took that breaking pitch for a strike. He was bailing like he thought it was going to hit him.
Strictly stuff. It's hard to imagine there's a better closer in baseball stuff-wise than Iglesias.
Well, there's some guys with some pretty good stuff. Throw is hard, but not really the variety of stuff,
yeah.
I think is what you're trying to say. I mean, he's got so many weapons to go to. I mean, you start adding up all the arm angles of the pitches, and he's got about 15 to choose from.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got to get the final 3 outs. I don't think anybody's picking anybody ahead of Aroldis Chapman. But Iglesias is right there in the conversation. There are others. Well, after getting ahead 0-2, it is breaking ball after breaking ball after breaking ball that is missing 1.5 feet outside. Nowhere near the strike zone.
Well, now the problem with that is on a 3-2 count, you've got a pretty speeder pinch runner there in Peter Borges at first. He may want to throw over one time. Borges, smart veteran base runner, probably won't get picked off, but he might shorten him up a step. Doesn't matter.
Nothing but breaking balls. After a 96-mile-per-hour fastball on the second strike to get 0-2 that Culberson hit over the Atlanta dugout.
Yeah, you can see the grouping down here. I mean, some of those not even close.
Iglesias last pitched on Sunday to wrap up the 4-game sweep over the Cubs with a perfect 9th inning. And he had a perfect 9th to pick up the save in the second game of that series. Camargo 1 of 3. Apparently too many pitches for Iglesias to choose from.
The Reds are putting the shift on Camargo a little bit. They've got the shortstop trying to hold the runner on, but he's leaving the side of the infield open. That's where he had his last base hit.
Yep.
Trying to go that way again.
Iglesias ahead at 1-2. Second straight batter he comes into face where he jumps in front. It was 0-2 on Culberson. Wound up walking him, sending the tying run into scoring position. Popped up for Dixon. Inning over. Iglesias gets a final out, a 2-run 8th. We're off to the 9th. It's a 1-run game. Presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Tomorrow, 11:30 a.m., we're on the air. Luis Castillo will start it for the Redlegs against left-hander Sean Newcomb. We invite you to join us. Our game coverage begins at noon. Still Carl, I beg your pardon, on the mound, and he'll be facing Hamilton to start the inning. Kurt Suzuki comes into the game after they pinch ran for Flowers. And Billy, a line drive that is blown by Albies. 1 out in the 9th. Reds with a 4-3 lead. Brandon Dixon bats for the first time. And a ground ball to the shortstop, Swanson, 2 away. If you're taking a peek ahead to the bottom of the 9th, I think we all would universally agree you do not want to get to a 4th hitter in that inning. So the goal would be 8-9-1 game over, because you go any further than that, you're talking about Albies, you're talking about Freeman.
And Markakis, he's still in the game?
Sure.
Yeah.
But you'll have Swanson You'll have a pinch hitter for the pitcher. Or they probably put Suzuki, I would imagine, in that spot. Yeah, he's batting, I'm sure, in the number 9 spot when they made this change. But we got to double check that. Did Borges? I was trying to figure out if Borges would have stayed in the game to play defense. Boy, if you're gonna make a change, how in the world do you not have Suzuki hitting in the 9th inning? All right. 1-1 is a count. You know, there was no switch. Obviously, the pitcher is still the same. He's batting in the number 9 spot. They only have Ryan Flaherty left on their bench. They've already used Santana. They've used Borges to pinch run, and that was that. And now Suzuki's in the game. Well, they took some x-rays. This is good news. They took some x-rays of Amir Garrett's leg, and they came back negative. It didn't appear like it hit the bone. And again, it's hard to tell exactly, but that's where you get into the real problem areas, is if it gets that bone.
One of those little stinger type injuries, you know, where you get hit in one spot, it activates a nerve or it makes it fire and really hurts, you know, shoots all the way down into your foot.
Steve Bauman is telling Jim Riggleman the good news. Here's Joey Votto, 0 for 4 in the game. Strike 1.
Boy, Votto on base 4 times last night, 3 walks and a base hit, a run scored. Quite the opposite tonight. Looking at it 0 for 4 right now. You watch Shane Carl pitch, and it doesn't take you long to figure out that he has been a starting pitcher for a long time in the minor leagues. He was with Pittsburgh and Colorado. I mean, you don't see too many relievers with a 4-pitch mix.
One to count on Votto. Snaps off a breaking ball, 3-1. I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever. The Braves had best look into doing something about this bullpen if they're going to maintain this lead. It served them well. They've had guys kind of in and out. Their closer's hurt right now. But there are some major league questions. 3-2 pitch. Back-to-back 2-out walks drawn by Barnhart and Votto. And that'll bring Jeanette to the plate.
Well, the walk to Votto really shouldn't surprise too much, but the 2-out walk to Tucker Barnhart with Joey Votto in the on-deck circle. Is one that has probably surprised everybody in that Brave dugout. Chuck Hernandez, longtime pitching coach. Interesting coaching staff they have. You know, we've got 3 former managers in that dugout. as coaches to Brad Snichter. Walt Weiss, of course, former manager. Ron Washington, the third base coach, managed in Texas.
All right, Scooter digging in. Reds lead by a run. Strike one on Jeanette. Looking first pitch fastball. Got a fastball at 95 and missed it. Strike two. After the visit to the mound, said all that off-speed change-ups and breaking balls. He's coming with 95 gas.
Getting back to basics.
Oh, and 2 on Scooter. He has thrown nothing but fastballs since a visit to the mound. Every single time. Little flare into right field, and it'll fall in a base hit. And once again, Scooter Jeanette with 2 outs in an inning, as he has done all year long, comes through with a big base hit to give the Reds a 2-run lead.
Boy, is that huge for the Reds. Barnhart off at the crack of the bat. There's no way you're going to run him down. And Suzuki, you may have seen him before that pitch was delivered. He wanted that ball down around the ankles. He left it around knee high. And Scooter was able to put enough of it to drop it right in there in front of Markakis in right field.
Jeanette has just been unbelievable.
Knee high, that baby was about waist high.
2 outs and runners in scoring position. There's an intentional walk to Suarez.
I mean, all started 2 outs, nobody on.
Yep. But with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, Jeanette is batting over 350. 350. Iglesias will bat. This pitcher has walked 3 of the last 4 batters after 2 are out with nobody on in the inning. Soft liner caught, inning over. Reds leave them loaded, but they get a big run thanks to Scooter. Iglesias 3 outs away from evening this series. July 2nd through the 4 series. You can buy a $12 ticket package. You get a voucher for a free regular hot dog and a 16-ounce fountain drink at the game. And don't forget, on both the 3rd and the 4th, we have fireworks at the ballpark. Great deal is only available through this ticket package. Reds.com/deal. Longest active streak in Major League Baseball going back to April of last year. 82 straight wins when the Reds are in front entering the 9th inning, and most of those games have been nailed down by the man trying to do it again tonight. Iglesias has blown 2 saves in his 15 chances. They walked the batter in the 8th inning. We got a pop-up to end the inning. They'll face Swanson, Ryan Flaherty. The pinch hitter will be next. And then the leadoff man, Ender Enciarte.
And he's got one more run of insurance out there.
5-3. Strike 1 on Swanson. 1 of 3 in the game. Swanson ready to hit that fastball.
He spit on the breaking ball and rips the fastball. You're right about that. 96 miles an hour. Ball came right back into his wheelhouse. The Reds have been pounding him inside all last night. Tonight they went about it a little different way. He's got a couple of hits tonight to show for it.
Here's Flaherty. Two home runs, 11 knocked in. There's one, and now a rundown. It's a tag play here. Iglesias, Jeanette, tag is made. Huge double play. Because now with 2 outs, you obviously take out of the equation a tying run coming to the plate. but it also means you have a good chance to leave Albee standing in the on-deck circle.
Votto did the right thing. He's standing right next to the bag. You get the easy force play right there, and then make sure you start closing the gap on the rundown.
Strike one on Enciarte. One out to go to even this series at a game apiece. You just don't want to see the guy on deck. You just don't. Enciarte hits his way on, so be it. But the last two nights, this guy right there has just knocked the cover off the ball, even on his outs. Tonight he's lined to left, been hit by a pitch, had a hard single to right, and then doubled off the right center field wall after two doubles and a bomb last night. One ball and two strikes, trying to put him away. We'll have to wait. Two. Pop-up foul ball out of play. All right, 3-2. Second walk Iglesias has given up. He's faced 5 batters and 3 of them have reached.
Well, last night's hero has a chance to repeat.
Pull the string on him. Albee's looking for the first pitch fastball and does not get it. Strike one.
Good spot, too.
Nothing and one on Albee's. Came back with the same thing. Had the game-ending home run last night. First pitch thrown by Dylan Floro in the 11th inning. Got a first pitch fastball and golfed it to the seats in right center. First time he's entered a game in his young major league career with a home run. Struck him out on 3 pitches, and that'll do it. Iglesias, his 14th save. Matt Harvey certainly earned the win here tonight. What a game he pitched.
Cambio, e cambio, e cambio. 3 of them in a row to Albies, and that's all she wrote with Iglesias.
All right, so the Reds win it by a final count of 5-3, and they will go to the rubber game of this series tomorrow. Reds Live at 11:30, and our game coverage will begin at noon. It's time for Reds Live, the post-game show, which begins right now.
Nice scoop there, baby. Nice go.